Welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by the Popeyes Chicken Sandwich. I'm Marcellus Wiley. No, the co-host killer hasn't struck again. Main outro, he's just out for one day. So I'm talking about my Clippers for the entire show. All right, I'm just kidding. Let's get it started, though, right here in L.A. with free agency. That started Monday, and the Lakers have been too busy, very busy. They already added Russell Westbrook a few days ago in a multiplayer trade, according to reports. Now they're welcoming former Lakers back. Dwight Howard's in the building. Big shoulders, and Trevor Ariza, Westchester High School, Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington. Damn. Take a look at the Lakers offseason so far. Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Trez, Harrell, Alex Caruso, Headband Man, they're all out. Westbrook, Ariza, Bazemore, Ellington, Howard are in for the purple and gold. So I got to bring in two Fox NBA analysts for this one. Chris Broussard and Slick Rick the Buchler. So let's start with you, Slick. How should we feel about the Lakers right now?
I'm going to go, if I have to use one word, I'm going to say deja vu. I feel as if what they are trying to do is recapture what they had 2 years ago in terms of the chemistry and the structure of the team. First of all, you're bringing back a bunch of guys that we've already seen in Lakers uniforms before, and Trevor Ariza and Kent Bazemore and Dwight Howard. But it's also that idea that veterans with something to prove may be a little bit better than last year's team. And yes, 2 years ago, they were the second oldest team in the league, and last year they were the oldest team in the league. But they really relied on younger pieces last year more so than they did the year before, particularly when it got to the playoffs. So I understand what they're trying to do. Essentially what they're telling us is that even healthy, they were not buying that last year's team was good enough in order to win it all. Otherwise, they would have made a greater attempt to just run it back with what they had. They're trying to get back to what they had 2 years ago as a last gasp. Let's see if we can get a bunch of veterans that have something to prove and want to win a ring, get them together, and get one more shot at it with LeBron James and Anthony Davis before the clock really strikes midnight. I just am not buying that this is ultimately going to work, because the great distinction is with this older team, you're not going to get 3 months off before the playoffs in order for everybody to regenerate and then start their engines up again. So I get why they're doing what they're doing, and I don't know that they had a better option to go to. But if you're asking me whether it's deja vu in terms of it's going to work the same way it did 2 years ago, I just believe that the circumstances are going to be too different for the same model to be successful.
Well, I'm looking at it like the Lakers should feel resurrected. Kind of with you, Slick, but I'm not focusing in on the age, because their leader is old, and LeBron James, who's going to be 37 next year. So when you talk about age, let's throw the birth certificates out the window. It's about trust. And LeBron is like, look, since I'm old, I know what I need to get it done, because I've gotten it done 4 times before. Now, if you want a number 5, if you want to complete this hand in terms of all fingers have a ring, you got to give me people I can trust, people that I can activate when necessary. Don't forget that the Lakers are still a damn good team. I think we got lost last year in the injuries in the regular season. It got lost because they lost to the up-and-coming Phoenix Suns, who became the Western Conference champions, who also were down 2-1 in a series to the same Lakers. But that injury bug came and struck again. So if you look at this team right now before injury, Lakers 21-7. That's with AD healthy. After that, 21-23. Completely different team. So LeBron sits back in the lab and starts to draw up a different team. He says, okay, we try to go with the youth. We try to trust in Kyle Kuzma, Mr. Melrose, he's gone. We're going to now trust the people that I know can respond to these moments, people that are champions. And he went out there and got him some guys that he can trust in these moments. The Lakers are for real. They got the mentality. They know that they have the best big 3 in the West. Think about it. All the teams in the West, including my Clippers, if you had to say the top 3 stars on one team, not even the Golden State Warriors, because we don't know about Klay Thompson and returning from injury. It has to be the Lakers. With that mentality that they were up on the Phoenix Suns, Western Conference champions, with the fact that their leader is still LeBron James, oh, they're ready to go out there and get it done now that they trust each other.
Well, after yesterday's moves, I feel the same way about the Lakers that I felt when the Russell Westbrook trade was made known. Intrigued, all right? I said earlier last season that the Brooklyn Nets were one of the greatest chemistry experiments in NBA history. Well, the LA Lakers, they make the Brooklyn Nets big three look like a match made in heaven. Heck, they make Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond look like a match made in heaven. All right, it all depends on how those big three pieces can work and fit together. What they did yesterday, though, I mean, I think that's what we all expected. We didn't know exactly who the individual players would be, but we figured this is the route that the Lakers are going to go. Number one, you know LeBron. Go back all the way to Miami. When LeBron started putting together big threes, he always wanted veterans who knew how to win, right? In Miami, he had guys like Mike Miller. Ray Allen saved the Miami Heat. Shane Battier, guys like that. Cleveland, Kyle Korver, and guys of that ilk. And then when they won it here, he had Danny Green and Rajon Rondo and all that. So this is more of the same. LeBron saying, look, I don't need the young guys that we have to teach how to win. The Kyle Kuzmas. We need veterans who are tunnel vision on a championship and are happy to play their role. So they went out and got shooters. All right, those three guys, Bazemore, Ellington, Trevor Ariza, kind of 3-and-D guys, good shooters. They're not scary good. All right, I think the Lakers' three-point shooting will pretty much be what it's been the last couple of years. A little below average. That's where they'll be. I get it that Bazemore and Ellington shot well last year from three. But, you know, we've seen Wesley Matthews and other guys that have really shot it well elsewhere get streaky when they're on the big stage with LeBron. And I think that's what we'll see with this group of guys as well. And then to go get Dwight Howard, they're saying we're going to go big. All right, a lot of people want to go small. We missed Howard's muscle and athleticism. I know Andre Drummond was big, but he wasn't as mobile and athletic as Dwight Howard. So they're going for that again. So they did about what they could. If they could have gotten a Patty Mills or somebody like that, that would have been great. He's in Brooklyn. So, you know, a so-so day for them. But it really all is going to depend on how well their big three meshes and how well Ellington, Bazemore, and the like can hit three-point shots.
So I guess we all agree in one sense that we understand why they did what they did. The distinction is, do we think it's going to work or how well it's going to work? And again, I'm going to go back to comparing to 2 years ago, which the great difference being, and Chris points this out, is that big three and how well they work together. With Rajon Rondo as the second playmaker, he was playing at a tempo that fit with an older team, with the Dwight Howards and the Jared Dudleys and the Danny Greens. And now you have a Russ Westbrook who does not play well that way. He plays better when he plays fast. And while you had an older team that you could rely on and that were experienced 2 years ago, during the regular season, the top minutes played, the guys that were higher in the rotation were the younger guys. They got them to the finish line, and then in the playoffs, you saw the Rondos and the Danny Greens step up and play more minutes. They really don't have that equation this time around. So that's where I see the distinction. And yes, LeBron James has guys that he can trust. But are they going to be so much better offensively with this crew that it makes up for the fact that they lost so much defensive talent? The three guys that received all defensive team votes, Alex Caruso, Schroeder, and KCP, are all out the door. And they're not being replaced by guys that are capable of playing that kind of defense. This is where I think that, yes, LeBron has guys that he can orchestrate and he knows they're going to give him a certain something on a consistent basis. But LeBron James is at a point in his career now where he needs more than that. He needs guys that aren't just going to fill roles, but they are going to contribute energy and finite things in a different way. And unless Anthony Davis is staying healthy all year long, and again, this is where there's going to be more on Anthony Davis to do more energy-wise, effort-wise. Does that compromise his ability to stay healthy? I understand the formula. I'm just not convinced that it's going to work.
Man, I got to earn my money today because I'm up here defending the Lakers harder than both of you guys combined. Slick Rick, I love you so much, but I don't trust you at all in this moment. We asked for one word, and then my boy Chris Broussard said intrigued. I said resurrected. Yeah. You said deja vu. That ain't one word. That's two words. So already I'm off on your take, but then we gonna go.
I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be one word too, you know.
I was wondering, is that one or two?
There's a space in it, but I think it's considered one word.
It could be. He went to the Ivy League.
It's French. Who knows?
Yeah, but you know what I don't trust, whether deja vu's one word or two words, is that you want to put Russell Westbrook in the mindset, in the frame that is not consistent with the evidence. Here's the thing about Russell Westbrook. Everyone says, well, he can't shoot. Okay, I understand that. But you know where he shot his highest field goal percentage? In Houston. In Houston, what? Off ball. Okay, Russell Westbrook off ball actually is more efficient than on ball. Interesting, because LeBron James is in the building. Could Russell Westbrook be efficient once again off ball? Maybe. His rebounds suffered in Houston. His assists suffered in Houston. Well, we actually want his assists to suffer in L.A. because LeBron James is in the building. Let's talk about the three-point percentage because a lot of times we talk about that, and you made some great points in terms of, well, they've had shooters come in before and weren't as effective. Well, you bring in Wayne Ellington, who shot 42%. You bring in Bazemore, who shot 40%. And that was an issue for the Lakers last year. Look at the Lakers, 21st in the league in three-point percentage last year, 24th in attempts, in a world where everyone's trying to shoot the three-pointer. So I don't know how many minutes you're talking about for Ellington and Bazemore, but in terms of efficiency, we see a more efficient Russell Westbrook off ball. We see Ellington and Bazemore as shooters. All that adds up to me in terms of impact. They're going to have impact where LeBron James wants to fit them on this squad. Westbrook, off ball, be efficient. Bazemore, Ellington, shoot this ball, win, pass the ball. All that adds up to a Lakers team that was already better in one series than the Western Conference champion Phoenix Suns before injury. Maybe they could return to that place, resurrect, and be even better.
Marcellus, and I think Rick knows this by the look on his face, you are playing fast and loose with some facts, all right, my man?
A little bit.
First of all, just because they were up 2-1 doesn't mean they were better than the Phoenix Suns. And I picked them. I thought they would have won too if they were healthy, but that's not fair because Milwaukee was down 2-0 in two of the series that they came back to win. So were your Clippers, so you know better than that. And then to talk about Westbrook being better off the ball in Houston, shooting a higher percentage. That is because Houston, of course, spread the floor with a bunch of shooters. They got rid of Clint Capella, and so that lane was wide open, and Westbrook, they begged him, instead of shooting the three, Russ, when you get the pass from Harden, drive. All right, so if he does that, I'm with you. That's what he's got to do when LeBron James draws the double team and feeds Westbrook. He's got to drive. The difference is, as I said, that lane was wide open in Houston. It won't be with the Lakers, especially now they got Dwight Howard in addition to Anthony Davis. So it's going to be a little bit different for Westbrook with the Lakers. But look, I'm not down on them. I mean, I'm intrigued. I really am. I've said I'm giving them a puncher's chance, and I'm giving them a little bit better than a puncher's chance. And here's why. Excuse me. The Western Conference, this benefits the Lakers. There is no world beater in the West.
Right.
Okay, the Clippers, I don't expect to see Kawhi Leonard next year. All right, he's going, even if he comes back late, who knows how he'll play initially. So let's move the Clippers out. Phoenix, Utah, Dallas, Denver. I'll throw Golden State in that batch. Coming up at the rear is Portland. They're good, right? They're not scary. None of them are frightening anybody. And so the West is not what it has historically been. And so if the Lakers can work it out with these three, then sure, they can get to the finals and meet probably Brooklyn or Milwaukee. But it's going to be intriguing. I want to see Russ not only not selling for the three, but I want to get him moving off the ball. He could be great cutting to the basket with a guy like LeBron who will find him for layups and backdoor cuts. If he'll do it, let's see if Russ will do it.
Okay, well, let's move off Russell Westbrook and his efficiency with the Lakers based off of his Houston experience and talk about the future with the Lakers, because there's breaking news right now that Carmelo Anthony is now a Los Angeles Laker. Carmelo Anthony, who shot from the three-point line 41% last year. So I ask you two right now, is Carmelo Anthony a good fit for the Lakers?
Well, thank goodness they got some young legs in there. I mean, finally, they've switched direction, and they're adding they're building the 2015 All-Star team, and what are we doing? Look, again, it's a nice piece, and I love how Carmelo has resurrected his career and is appreciated for what he's doing. But the big thing here is, to Chris's point about the West, yes, there's no team to beat there. There's nobody that the Lakers look at and go, well, we can't match up with them. But there's also a half a dozen teams that are more likely to get to the finish line intact than the Lakers are, again, simply because of the age and the speed with which the game is played today. LeBron and AD couldn't get to the finish line last year in a 72-game season. And yes, I know we had a shortened offseason, but they added a lot of pieces that didn't play all the way to the end in the bubble. So that argument quite doesn't work. It's not, if you were telling me this was a 25-game season and now we're going to go into a best-of-5 tournament, I'd say, you know what? I like the Lakers' chances. But to go 82 games and then to play 20 more, 25 more in the postseason, I just don't see the lasting power with this Lakers team to get there to the finish line.
Yeah, look, I like Carmelo. I mean, Rick's right. He really has, improved his three-point shot and even worked his game around shooting that shot. That's what they had him doing in Portland. So that's a nice addition for what this team is. But earlier, Rick talked about the pace that Westbrook wants to play at. I'm concerned about his fit with LeBron because LeBron likes to play slow and deliberate, and Westbrook wants to play fast and hectic, even in the half court. Now, who on that team is running with Russell Westbrook? I mean, seriously, nobody on that squad is running with Russell Westbrook. So that is going to be interesting to see how he adjusts his game and they adjust their game to him. So, look, the Lakers, I mean, as I said, nobody in the West is scary good, so they have to feel good about their chances. You would, in theory at least, Westbrook can take some of the physical toll off of LeBron and AD, so you hope they can get to the playoffs intact. But look, and I've talked about Father Time tapping LeBron on the shoulder. It's not so much in his game. Yeah, you see a little bit of the athleticism gone, but his game is still top-notch. But it's the injuries. 2 of his 3 years in L.A., he's gotten hurt with season-ending injuries, and the 1 year that he didn't, he had a 4-month layoff. And AD, we know he's been injury-prone throughout his career. So the biggest challenge, in addition to fitting the pieces together, is going to be, can these guys stay healthy? And I think the best way for them to play, I know when Westbrook and AD and LeBron met at LeBron's house, they talked about LeBron playing the power forward, AD at center. I like AD at center, but I like LeBron at the point. I think LeBron's mentality this year with this group should be, I'm going to be the Magic Johnson of the crew. I think he needs to try to make sure AD and Russell Westbrook get theirs, because LeBron will get his 20-plus points just by being on the floor for 30-some-odd minutes. In the half court, he is the smartest decision maker. Westbrook can push it in transition if anybody runs with him, and Westbrook can have that second unit with the ball in his hands. But when LeBron's on the floor, I want him as the primary decision maker and Westbrook cutting and moving off the ball.
What's up, Slick?
So what are we doing at the defensive end? Because I could see putting Carmelo at the 4 and playing LeBron at the 1 now that you have Melo. But defensively, you're asking LeBron to guard ones? You're asking Russ, who has lost a lot of lateral ability with all those knee surgeries and has never been that focused defensively. That to me is the great issue. I see where you can make it work offensively, and I like the idea of LeBron initiating things. But you're going to have people, for every missed shot, they're going to be running down your throat. Who's getting back to stop those fast breaks? That's where I see the Lakers being taken advantage of.
Oh, come on, y'all. Let's evolve as a people. Come on, society. Let's stop talking about defense in the NBA. It's a make-or-miss league. And Slick tried to run this out last year against the Brooklyn Nets. Who's going to play defense? Well, nobody had to play defense until they got injured, because before that, they were making all their shots. The Lakers could be in a percentage where right now, look at their shooters. Ellington, Bazemore, Carmelo. The worst shoots 41% from 3. Maybe they'll be making these shots this year. I'm not certain, but I know as an opponent, I would never get into any race and use as confidence that they won't finish the race. Like, I'm going to win. Why are you going to win, Marcellus? Oh, because they won't finish the race. Nah, you always have to assume that the other team is going to come fully ready. And if the Lakers come fully ready, at 21-7 last year when they were fully healthy, you add Westbrook with energy. Y'all are fathers. We all are fathers up here. You know about the kids. Go get that remote for me, because I ain't getting up off the couch. That's Westbrook to do all the little dirty work that no one else wants to do. You got your shooters. You got Ariza at 3 and D, and bench support coming off the bench, averaging 10 points a game last year. And Dwight Howard sitting there, boulders, shoulders, and boards. That's all we need. Add all that up, look like the Lakers going to be something to reckon with. Second place in the West, right behind my Clippers. Coming up, the Raiders are in a playoff drought, and I'll tell you if Jon Gruden should have a win-now mandate. I hear y'all. But first, Matt LaFleur called Aaron Rodgers the greatest quarterback to ever do it. I'll tell you if I'm buying his praise. Next, don't speak for yourself. Let's head to Green Bay, where Aaron Rodgers is back at Lambeau Field after all the offseason drama. His head coach, Matt LaFleur, is obviously happy to have the reigning MVP back in the mix. LaFleur gave his quarterback high praise, saying, quote, I mean, the guy is, in my eyes, the greatest to ever do it. I think he's still got a lot left in the tank. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Bucky Brooks and Greg Jennings. And Greg, you're the former Packer. Are you buying LaFleur's comments on Rodgers?
Yeah, man, I've bought him since I first got into Green Bay, and I saw this kid. I knew he was going to be something special. No, I'm just
yeah, right.
But I am buying what Matt LaFleur is saying for a couple reasons. And I cannot wait to hear Bucky's rebuttal. I can't wait, because I know it's coming. But anyway, for me, when you look at Aaron Rodgers and what he's been able to do over the course of his career, he's been elite from start to now. Elite to the point to where our expectations of him are so high that when he has a low, it is still higher than most quarterbacks in the National Football League. And when you're Matt LaFleur and you come into an organization and you get to take on a quarterback like that, and you see what your offense could potentially look like, and then it actually flourishes into something special because of what this quarterback brings and what he can provide, yes, you're going to say this is the guy, one of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it, because I've seen it. I've seen it in real time. I've seen him in the way his mind works, what I can put on his plate, what he's able to do later in games as far as comeback wins and what have you. And then on top of that, he is a 3-time MVP of the National Football League. He has won a Super Bowl. Let's not make it just because he hasn't won multiple Super Bowls that all of a sudden he's not up there with the best. And then I would say this, the reason why a coach like Matt LaFleur, number one, he's my player. He's my quarterback. He's in my room. He's running my team. But when you compare Aaron Rodgers to the field, the Patrick Mahomes, the Russell Westbrooks, Tom Brady's, whomever, as far as talent, the only one that really meets that standard, and we all would probably agree to this, is Patrick Mahomes. But if I am Matt LaFleur, would I take Pat Mahomes over over Aaron Rodgers? Probably not, because I don't know if he's going to have the longevity. I don't know. There's so many unknowns. For right now, what I do have is a very special player that has rendered me 2 NFC championship games. We haven't gotten over the hump, but if it were not for him, we wouldn't even be there. Thus, I have the right, if I'm Matt LaFleur, to say, yeah, I got the best in the business.
Man, I need producers right now. I need production to give me that Spider-Man meme right now, because I never knew that Matt LaFleur and Greg Jennings had so much in common. Let me be real about this, because y'all know I keep it 100. I understand that you played with Aaron Rodgers and you guys had a tremendous relationship. You won a Super Bowl together. You liked each other. You had your highs. You also had your well-documented lows. But it seems like you and Matt LaFleur have something in common. Let me call y'all by the right names. Greg LaFleur and Matt Jennings have something in common right now, because y'all both trying to become besties in one take. It ain't gonna work that way, because Aaron Rodgers could see right through this. In the grocery store, you know what they would call this? Clean up in aisle 12. That's what y'all trying to do. Clean up all of this mess in aisle 12. Let me tell you why. Why you draft Jordan Love, Mr. LaFleur, if you already thought you had the GOAT before another MVP campaign? And you know he lying. This is why you know he lying. Because the quote is, we're already off. Strong start there. The guy is, in my eyes, in my eyes. If he is, he is. If he ain't, he ain't. All this in my eyes is qualifiers. You know why?
Now we got to break every word down.
Say it with your chest if you really believe it. But let me give it to you for real. And you know this. You got to agree with me here, Greg LaFleur. Coaches have weird egos. And when they mess up on something, because they walk around like authoritarians, this is my team.
This is true.
This is weird. This is my team. What? And then when they step in it, they overcorrect. They go too far. Let me give you a story to let y'all know what this feels like. When you the backup, coach don't even be speaking to you. Be like, I say a good joke. Coach looking at me like, man, Wiley, shut up. You know what I'm saying? I'm the backup. All of a sudden, the starter gets hurt. Coach come in the next day, hey, Wiley, where you been, boy? This is what Matt LaFleur is doing. He overcorrecting, and Aaron Rodgers could see right through this.
I can't believe, I love it, Greg. I appreciate it. And Marcellus, I also played with the Packers. I can't believe that right now Matt LaFleur, I know what Matt LaFleur was doing. I know we've canceled R. Kelly, but he was listening to R. Kelly's The Greatest, because that's the only reason why he would put The Greatest behind Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is the greatest Packer to ever do it. When I think about Bart Starr and Brett Favre. Brett Favre, I was there. He won 3 straight MVPs. And when I think about Aaron Rodgers, you would like to think someone who is the greatest has multiple Super Bowl rings. Someone who is able to maybe even win multiple playoff games, which he's only done twice in his career. In fact, when I think about Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is greater than Donovan McNabb. And I know, look, this is going to be a hot take, but let's come and let's make it hot then. Donovan McNabb was 1-4 in championship games, but when I look, Donovan McNabb has a better postseason record than Aaron Rodgers. I think about what Donovan McNabb was able to accomplish with the Philadelphia Eagles. That team had the best record in that decade when he was there, when he was playing at his best. So I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, why, oh, why is Matt LaFleur trying to suck up or buttercup Aaron Rodgers? I can't understand it, because there are better words that he could have used besides the greatest. The greatest means you're an all-time great in the same class and category as Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Roger Staubach, others. There is no way we can put Aaron Rodgers in that category as the greatest, maybe most talented, not the greatest for sure.
So now we're putting Donovan McNabb in that category, and I love Donovan. I do.
I mean, why not?
How many? Look at your notes. Look down at your notes. And then read to all of America how many MVPs Donovan McNabb has.
Hey, Bucky.
I mean, he doesn't have any.
Okay, that's what I thought. And so for me, when we talk about the greatest, I get it. The first criteria is wins. And he has wins. He has a Super Bowl, but he doesn't have multiple. Totally understand that. And it's always going to be on him. And Marcellus, this is no, let me clean up on aisle 12, aisle 9, whatever aisle you want to pick it. This is just me speaking fact. Yes, he is the most talented quarterback to ever do it. Unless Patrick Mahomes stays on the trend that he's on, and then he would probably surmount that, period. But right now, when I look at what we see in this National Football League and what I've been able to witness and what I played with, yes, he's the best to do it. He is arguably, there is every attribute that you can find in any quarterback in the National Football League, Aaron possesses. But when you look at those attributes of Aaron, how many quarterbacks can you line up and say, yep, he checks that box. Yep, he checks that. I get it. In terms of the GOAT and in terms of the most wins and how it's been done to the most elite level, nobody compares to Tom Brady. Ooh. But when you talk about a head coach who understands what he's dealing with, I feel you on that, Marcellus. I totally feel you on that. He's treading that water very smoothly and very lightly. But he truly does believe that this is a guy that is not like anyone else. And none of us up here can sit here and say, oh, yeah, there's 31 other guys that I would take in front of Aaron Rodgers, or there's 30, or there's 28, or 25 other guys that I would. You won't even say 5 guys that you would take in front of Aaron Rodgers right now, Bucky.
But I didn't say most talented.
Yeah.
He said the greatest
to ever do it.
And based on what he said, he cannot be in that category. Because when we're talking about the greatest, we're talking about GOAT conversations. He's not a GOAT. He doesn't have enough on the resume to be considered the GOAT. I mean, Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl wins. Ben Roethlisberger has 2 Super Bowl wins. We're talking about a guy with 1 Super Bowl win, a 1-4 record in NFC Championship games. So, I mean, if he is the greatest, he has to be able to not only get us to the championship game, he has to be able to get us to the Super Bowl.
So is it solely about wins? Because if my memory serves me correctly, we don't look at that and compare that in the NBA when we talk about the great, because Jordan has 6. Bill Russell has how many?
11.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But we don't consider him the GOAT. So this is where I feel like we place the category of wins where it matters most and when it's most effective. And right now, Aaron can't compete when we're talking about just solely Super Bowl wins. But when we talk about wins in general and everything else, and who would you take? You can't sit here and tell me you're taking other guys.
I like the eject, Jan.
I mean, we're talking about the greatest conversation. We talk about Jordan and LeBron. LeBron has titles. Jordan has titles. He has more. We don't throw Dirk Nowitzki in there with 1 title. We don't talk about Dirk being the greatest. Like, he said the greatest. If he didn't use the greatest, if he used the most talented, then I would sit up here and be like, hey, man, I'm with him. But the greatest, nah, we can't give that a number 12.
Yeah, Greg, you moved the goalpost a gang of times. I know your ass been weightlifting of late, but damn, you said talented. Nobody asked about that. And then you said, well, right now, name quarterbacks that are active. We're not talking about that either. Greatest to ever do it. Oh, you done messed up Matt LaFleur right here. Because I'm with you, Greg. It ain't all about just ring counting. Who has the most rings, they're the greatest. I give you that. But how you got to your opportunities or how you performed in those championship moments, that matters. Let's bring up a full screen to really hammer home my point right here about Aaron Rodgers in championship games in his career. This is the greatest to ever do it. 1 and 4. Okay, you can look at the other greats, Brady, Elway, Montana, see their records all better. But let's talk about passing yards per game. I'm going to give Aaron Rodgers that. 1, he's the youngest, so we all know you're going to throw for more.
You got to give it to him. It's right there on the screen.
Yeah, but there's a reason why, because it's a more passing league. He's the youngest, and it's empty calories. Because now we're going to get to what really matters. Aaron Rodgers, in 5 championship games, has 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Woo, that is substandard for Aaron Rodgers. Now look across the board. You're not seeing that. But let's get to passer rating. Aaron Rodgers. What is your passer rating doing down there? That's some Carson Wentz territory. Passer rating at 83 when it matters most. So when you need him the most, you get the least out of Aaron Rodgers. To me, that doesn't add up to you being the GOAT. Doesn't add up to you being the greatest of all time. It adds up to why maybe you only have one ring. Coming up, will the bright lights of Vegas shine on the Raiders this season? I tell you if Jon Gruden should have a win now mandate. Ooh, that's next on Speak for Yourself. Greg Gruden. Thursday on Fox, the NFL is back. Catch Big Ben and the Steelers as they battle Zeke and the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. All the action is on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Jon Gruden is entering his 4th season as the Raiders coach, and it's been a bumpy road along the way. Gruden has not made the playoffs or even had a winning record with his squad, but owner Mark Davis still told Peter King that Gruden's, quote, not under any win-now mandate. So, Bucky, should Jon Gruden be under a win-now mandate?
Oh, yeah, for $100 million, absolutely. This is year 4 of the program. He needs to win, and he needs to win right away. Jon Gruden has been a massive disappointment, in my estimation, with the Raiders. 19-29 since he's returned. Remember, Jack Del Rio was 25-23, had a winning record. They were trending upwards when you think about that compared to Jon Gruden. And when I think about this team is no longer littered with Pro Bowl players that he has developed. This team doesn't have star quality that was there when he inherited this team. So, yes, they absolutely need to win because Jon Gruden has to prove to Raider Nation that he is the guy to get this team over the hump. And to the National Football League, he has to prove that he is an A-level coach because right now, I think there are plenty of doubts about whether Jon Gruden is really an elite coach in this league.
Wow, Bucky. You are not fair to this man, Jon Gruden. Chucky, who I love. He should not be under a win-now mandate. Therefore, he's not under a win-now mandate. Don't take my word for it. You hear owner Mark Davis say the same thing. Because if you look at this in detail, you'll understand where Mark Davis is coming from and where I'm coming from. I always tell you, judge a man by the distance traveled. Let's judge Chucky by the distance traveled. Y'all keep talking about the Raiders like they just won a Super Bowl. When the last time the Raiders did anything worthwhile? 2002, the team has had one playoff appearance since then, right? Okay. And in 2002, we all saw him lose the Super Bowl to Chucky. Okay, respect that. So the Raiders have had one winning season in the last 18 years. But Bucky wants to come up here and put it all on Jon Gruden. The same Jon Gruden who has improved this team's winning percentage and record every single year that he's been there. And this is the same team that has only had one finish above 500 going all the way back to when Chucky was there. Oh, okay, so put this all on Chucky. Y'all want to know why he got a 10-year deal, a $100 million deal? Because they need that much runway for Chucky to get this program restored. And they understood that. So he came in and actually reset our expectations. People start saying, hey, the Raiders are a little better than we thought. So now we want to be impatient because the Raiders are a little better than we thought. But don't forget how bad they were before he got there. So we have to judge Jon Gruden like every man by the distance traveled, by what he inherited. And since you look at the Raiders in that short history, going all the way back to when Chucky was there, it's been bad. It's been poor. So respect for what Jon Gruden has done. And there's no win now mandate because he's continuing on a trajectory to restore the roar.
Well, Bucky, I'm glad I'm not on Marcellus's team because mediocrity seems to be okay.
Oh, that's what we do.
Look, we're improving, so everything is okay. We're going to be better again next year, hopefully, so everything is okay. No, I don't care how much runway. You don't get this amount of time anywhere else. And yes, they do need that time, but no, he's in a win-now situation. And it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Why? Because look at what's going on just inside their own division. You got a team led by Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, who've been to 2 consecutive Super Bowls, won one, lost the other, and they're probably the favorites to get there again. So, and then you got a young Los Angeles Chargers team who just found their quarterback in Justin Herbert, and now they're on the rise. So when are you going to actually break through and win for us, Chucky? Well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And I'm good with him just being a mediocre coach. I'm good with him just having a mediocre team because we need that in the league. The league has to have parity. But for him to sustain his job, to continue to have a head coaching position, you got to show us that you're going to win because we brought you here as a marketing tool, but more importantly, to change everything else that was going on. Yes, we compete now. We fight to the end, but the results still are the same. We're not getting to the playoffs. And that's ultimately what he was brought in to do, to break that barrier sooner rather than later. Tell me another organization, tell me another team, tell me another head coach that is going to be allowed this grace that you're giving Chucky, Marcellus. You don't have one because it's unknown. This is not what is the norm. This is just a Raiders deal. This is exclusive to Chucky, as you call him, and as you're alluding to. This is exclusive to Jon Gruden. And for me, show me some wins or I'm going to show you the door, just like everybody else.
Wow, man. Oh, man. I hate to see those little kids walking around on little Jennings when they first started to crawl. And Greg like, when you going to start running? Throw some drills. And it's like, wait a minute, Daddy.
Let's go.
Developmental phases, as they say to us parents out there. You keep talking about he was brought in to do something. Win, yeah. But where was he brought in to do that winning? He was brought in to the Raiders organization that is only second to the Cleveland Browns in terms of the worst win percentage from 2003 to the day he arrived. Oh, wait a minute. The second worst organization? And I take them to 4 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins. And people are like, yay, like you said, mediocrity. How about let's dive into these details? First year, division ranked 4th. Second year, 3rd. Last year, 2nd. The Raiders getting better in that division that is so hard, so daunting. How about the scoring? 28th, 24th, 10th. The Raiders, top 10 in scoring. How about yards? 23rd, 11th, 8th. What? The Raiders are improving. But, you know, I understand how it works in the Jennings household. The kids ain't running yet, they ain't running drills. We don't want to see it. But I remind you, last year, all they needed to do was finish. This team lost 4 games by 1 possession. Finish. 4th quarter scoring 26 in the NFL, one of the bottom teams. They are coming, y'all. The Raiders are arriving. Do not cut the cord before they reach their destination.
That was really cute, man. That was really cute. You talk about all they need to do is finish, like as if Jon Gruden just walks off the field in the 3rd quarter and doesn't coach in the 4th quarter. I guess somebody else finishes the game for them. And so here's the thing, and I'm so surprised because being an Ivy Leaguer, I mean, I don't know, maybe they have higher expectations at Harvard and Princeton when they talk about, I don't want them mediocre. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're not listening to T.I. and Iggy Azalea when it comes to that. But when I look at Jon Gruden and I look at this record, let me look down. 64-80 as a head coach since 2003. And I heard you mention that the Raiders hadn't been to the postseason since 2002. But ironically, Jon Gruden, his last playoff win came in 2002 with the Buccaneers with Tony Dungy's players. So at some point, when is Jon Gruden going to justify and validate the $100 million contract? Because we're paying $10 million a year for elite coaching. We're not playing for average coaching. We're playing for an elite guy to be able to take over the Raiders and get them over the hump. But we haven't seen that. And I keep hearing you allude to what the Raiders hadn't done. Decades upon decades of futility. But yet, that team went to the postseason in 2016 with Jack Del Rio in his second season. Here we are entering year 4 with Jon Gruden, and we haven't sniffed the postseason. So at some point, we have to raise our level of expectations, or we have to find somebody else who can meet the standards.
Yeah, Bucky. Yeah, we got to have somebody that meets the standards. Since he wanted to compare Marcellus being the Las Vegas Raiders to the Cleveland Browns, let's look and see what the Cleveland Browns have done. You know what they did? They just went and got a new head coach. Just went last year. What's this guy's name? Is it a rookie head coach? Is it a first year guy, Kevin Stefanski? And what did he do? Go 10-6 in his year 1 and win a playoff game on the road against Big Brother Steelers? What? So it is possible. So we can actually win now. We don't need this long runway. Cleveland, out of anyone in the National Football League, anyone in sports, knows how long a runway can be. But now all of a sudden you want to extend that olive branch to the Las Vegas Raiders and Jon Gruden, and he needs more time. Give him more time. He's almost there. It's going to manifest eventually, yes, when the right head coach gets inserted, because obviously it's not getting done in an exponential fashion to where we're seeing the fruits of it now. We can all pick out the positives in every situation, and that's what you're doing, and that's great. And so if you want to just focus on that and encourage your staff and your team and all that, your fan base, look, we're almost there, guys. Just bear with me. Sell that somewhere else because I'm not buying it over here.
Yes, you are. Now, I know you're a champion, so you're going to talk down to me as you sound right now. Bucky, did you win a championship when you were in the NFL?
I did not.
Okay, welcome to the club. It's all good. You got paid, so shut it. Here's the thing right now, Greg. You act like Cleveland done something. Like you're a champion. It's either you or it's us. Now, Bucky can come back. Bucky, we flank him for a reason. Non-champions on the outside. Champion on the inside. Everybody in the middle, I'm getting close to Greg. I'm getting close to championship. Why are you giving them so much credit? Think about this. I don't want you to double down on dumb. And that's what the Raiders did. They fired Jack Del Rio, right? They never should have fired Jack Del Rio. We all know that. I mean, it was a roller coaster ride, but still they did have a 12-4 record. But what did they achieve with that 12-4 record? Playoff loss. Okay, whatever. Now, let's not double down on dumb and then all of a sudden fire Jon Gruden because, hey, look what Cleveland's doing. They're nipping on the heels of a championship. That's not how the game goes. It's haves and have-nots. It's Greg Jennings or it's me. Not a champion. Not mad at it. But you cannot all of a sudden use as your litmus test Cleveland uses your litmus test teams that are close but not arrived. This is a team that's improving to get close. Huh?
You compared them to Cleveland.
No, you saying it in a way that, okay, Cleveland is close, so therefore you should do exactly what Cleveland's doing. I'm saying they're improving just like Cleveland. So why don't you let them arrive all the way there before you cut the cord? You want to cut the cord right now. Would you fire Kevin Stefanski? Would you do that? No. What has he won? He didn't even win the division.
Game.
Non-division winner, playoff game, and he's in a better place than Jon Gruden right now, who's coming in every statistical category. You can see his team improving. Really?
I can't.
Let's just move on because I can't even respond to that.
I can't even respond.
That's fine. Coming up, Josh Allen. I'm mad at you right there, Greg. Josh Allen might have to wait another year for a new contract. I tell you, if the Bills are mishandling their quarterback's extension, like Greg mishandled that conversation. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Josh Allen is eligible to get seriously paid with a contract extension, but it might not happen this season. Allen finished second in MVP voting last year, but Bills GM Brandon Beane appears set on getting it done before the season starts or waiting another year. Beane said, quote, Josh and I are in lockstep on that. There will be no negotiating in season. At some point, we will press the pause button. We'll see here soon. We're in August, so I say we're down to a few weeks to either get this done or delay it and try it again in 2022. Hopefully, we can get something done this year. So, Greg, are the Bills mishandling Josh Allen's contract extension?
Yeah, I believe they are. And I get it. They do have a great relationship, they being Josh Allen and Brandon being the general manager. And you can throw Sean McDermott, the head coach, and Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator. You can throw them all in there. They have a great relationship. They communicate about pretty much everything, and they're in lockstep. However, we just saw what happened down in Dallas with the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott when they decided to wait, and they wanted more, and they wanted to press pause just for Dak Prescott to prove himself. If you give players that are playing at the clip like Josh Allen, who finished second in MVP voting, an opportunity to continue to improve, the price tag only goes up. Like, I don't understand what they don't see about this. Like, there is no benefit in waiting. The only benefits, and this is unfortunate, is if a player gets hurt. If Josh Allen stays healthy, we all feel like this is a really good team who they are continuing to put pieces around him so that he can get even better, so that his numbers will probably get even better. And so for me, when you go from the year that you had as Josh Allen, I'm looking at it like, yeah, let's pause it if you want to, because the price of admission it will go up even more the following year. So, yeah, I think it's a mistake on the behalf of the Buffalo Bills, which is why I truly believe they're going to try to get something done before the season starts.
Yeah, I think they are mishandling this, but I understand why they're in this place right now. Let's talk about first how they're mishandling it. Well, just like you said, Greg, he's going to get better because he's gotten better every single year, and he's going to get more expensive, not only because he's going to get better, but because of the inflation that's occurring in the NFL, especially at that position. So a guy who's improved his record every single year, his completion percentage every single year, touchdown percentage every single year, fewer interceptions, passer rating better every year, passing yards per game every year. Dude, what do you think's going to happen? He's going to get better. Maybe not in terms of the numbers because he's kind of close to the ceiling in terms of performance, but in terms of impact. This is a team now that finds itself facing the dynastic Kansas City Chiefs team in the AFC Championship game. And in Buffalo, they're starved for a quarterback like this. I mean, you got to go all the way back to when I was there with Jim Kelly before they had something that resembled a Josh Allen. Now, why are they here? Because people are like, just pay the dude. He's going to be cheaper now than later. Y'all ever walk into a store and have sticker shock? Yeah, we all have. Like, you want something. You walk into it, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this. Hey, buddy, whoa, this is going to affect my life. Like, this is not a simple purchase. So they know, running the team, running the organization, we love you, Josh Allen, just like I love that item I wanted to purchase. But the sticker shock makes me pause. Damn, if I pay this to Josh Allen and invest in him, I'm going to suffer here, 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 and here. Running game potentially, offensive line, defensive line, wherever you want to point, is going to have a counter effect. So that's why they're in this position right now. So I understand it, but they still are mishandling it.
Oh, no, they're not mishandling it. I think they're playing this perfectly because here's the thing, if you're Brandon Beane, that you have to determine. Did Josh Allen have a great year or is he a great player? By all standards, look, he was an MVP caliber player last year, but last year wasn't the only year that he played in the National Football League. 2018, 2019, let's see this, Marcellus, because I know we always have these debates with Cam Newton. So, Josh Allen, completion percentage, under 60% in each of those years. Passing yards per game, under 200 in each of those years. Passer rating, under 100 in each of those years. Does that sound like a $40 million quarterback that you're willing to go all in? Absolutely not. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, what you want to do is you want to make a smart decision, much like you said, walking in the store for that big ticket item and then the sticker shock. Oh, yeah, if you're Brandon Beane, you need to make sure that what you're investing is going to give you the return on investment that justifies that big contract that he's going to walk around and also walk into the locker room with, because other guys can't get paid when Josh Allen gets paid.
I hear you, Bucky, but at the same time, you're acting like, okay, last year 13-3, or you're trying to make it or paint it like it's an anomaly. Okay, but the year before, 10-6. So, first of all, let's remember where he is. Buffalo. You know, you're talking about another team that only went to the playoffs once since I was there. And I've been retired a long time, Bucky. So this is another place that's starved, that we were talking last segment about the Raiders. He's having impact. He's improving every single year. It's not one of those roller coaster improvements like Baker Mayfield. Great, bad, great. It's good, better. Wow. Now what's going to happen if you take care of him? You're going to have this guy relaxed, shoulders down, knowing this is his team. You're going to buy that equity because you're going to invest in him. But to your point a little bit, and to a different point, why can't we negotiate during the season? Like, I hate when that comes out as like a mandate. Like, you know what? You're going to be distracted. Or, hold on. If you tell me $200 million in August and then it gets up to $210 million in September, I'm playing better in September than I am in August. I don't know how this could ever bleed onto the field in a negative way, because Josh Allen knows he's going to get paid. The only way he's not going to get paid is if he is not good. Even if he gets injured, Dak Prescott, he's still going to get paid. So if he doesn't go out there and perform, It's the same thing for everybody. You know you're not getting paid if you don't perform. So that's not even a part of the conversation. Why not negotiate going forward and make sure you get this deal done?
No.
Well, for me, it's a couple things. I want to touch on what Bucky is talking about in saying that they're not mishandling it because they want to see if it was just a year. Well, that's not the case because they truly believe that this is their guy. They've thought that since the day that they drafted him. They felt like he was the smartest quarterback in that draft. They felt like he was going to improve given the supporting cast that they now have surrounded him with. So that's not the case. They truly know that this is their guy. They believe that. It's a matter of where that number is and how can we pay him and still keep these essential pieces so that we can remain a contender. That's always going to be the case. Why I say they're mishandling it is because it does not matter. You're going to face that same situation and decision next year or during the middle of the season or whenever you decide to sit down and both sides come to an agreement. You're going to have the same type of issues that you have right now presented before you. So why not get him now, even though that sticker price, that sticker shock, we've all had that sticker shock, but we've all experienced seeing that sticker shock right then, and then a couple months later, wishing we had took and pulled the trigger on that sticker shock because now the price then went up, and now we really don't want to get it because it's more than what we would have paid the first time we should have got it. So for me, that's the situation that the Buffalo Bills are in. Just pay him. He has improved in every area you have asked and have wanted and seen. The fans love him. He is your guy. He's fit for the Buffalo weather. Pay that guy.
No, man, you guys are so generous with your money and stuff like that. Guys out here running without a budget at the house, just paying for everything. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. If I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'm trying to figure out, are we winning in spite of or because of Josh Allen? Because that's what it comes down to, because what they want to make sure they avoid doing, let me give you some names. Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. Those guys, hey, man, just pay, man, just stroke the check, man, write the check, man, they're playing real bad. And then all of those teams that wrote those checks are sitting around with buyer's remorse. So what you want to do if you're the Buffalo Bills, go slow. If he earns it, hey, we don't mind paying more than sticker for it. However, we want to make sure that what we're getting, we're going to continue to get down the line.
Look, I ain't mad at that drive slow, homie. Shout out to Powerwall, baby. Kanye. I respect the drive slow mentality, but the problem is Josh Allen's just going too fast to drive slow, homie. I mean, none of those names you mentioned had a season like he had last year. You could try and reach for 2017 Carson Wentz, but that was incomplete. He didn't even finish the deal for them. So that's a tough comparison right there. You know what's not a tough comparison? Looking at how Josh Allen could do it all. Even Greg said he could perform in the elements. We keep talking about his throwing prowess. How about the fact that he has 25 rushing TDs in his first 3 years? Only Cam
Durability, baby.
Only Cam Newton's been able to do that in his first 3 years. This dude's different. 2 playoff game wins last year. Last quarterback to do that in Buffalo, Jim Kelly. I'll tell you why we're here. It's simple. Because when you negotiate in Buffalo, like I did in Buffalo before, they walk into the room with a pair of clippers because they're expecting you to take a little haircut, like just something, a little something off the top, you know? And Josh Allen like, this money gonna have to come the same here because it's been the same everywhere. So I understand why they're at this impasse right now, but they got to get past this, as Greg is saying. If not, it's just gonna go up in price. Coming up, we have huge news in the Bay Area. We'll tell you if it's a good move by Steph Curry to sign a 4-year mega extension with the Warriors. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Steph out there eating. There's big news in the Bay Area. Steph Curry has agreed to a 4-year extension for $215 million with the Warriors. According to reports, Steph is now the first player in history to sign 2 $200 million plus contracts. Applause. He was a first-team All-NBA player last season, but his Warriors missed the playoffs for the second straight season. So, Chris, is it smart for Steph to sign an extension with the Warriors?
Look, a few months ago, I felt that Steph should have just not signed an extension, played out next season. Look how good the Warriors are, how bad they are. Like, if they can't return to contender status in the West, then maybe start looking elsewhere, because he's still clearly at the top of his game, and he should want to play for championships over the last 4 or 5 years of his prime rather than just, putting up numbers on a mediocre squad. But I've changed my mind. I actually think the Warriors can be a good team next year. Draymond Green, I thought Draymond had a great season. A lot of people were down on him. He was great defensively. His playmaking was very good. He just didn't score, but we know he can't score. And when you take all the other scoring threats off the floor outside of Steph and they can focus on Draymond, he's not going to put up points. But once Klay comes back, I think Draymond will fall into his old role and get you 9, 10 points a game if that's what you need. I think Klay is going to come back and be strong. I'm really not concerned, just like I wasn't concerned about Kevin Durant being able to come back and return to form. I think Klay will kind of pick up just where he left off. And then here's the key. I think they have the assets to go out and improve the team. If this group doesn't play well together, and the draft, Jonathan Kuminga, he might be ready to defend right now in the NBA. He's a 6'8" dude with an NBA body, athleticism, who gets after it on the defensive end of the floor. So he might be able to give him some minutes. Moses Moody, another lottery pick for them, can shoot the ball. I know he's young, so I'm not counting on too much from him. But my point is this. With those two, with Andrew Wiggins, with James Wiseman, I actually think if they aren't an elite team in the West next year, by elite, I mean in that group with Denver and Dallas and Utah and Phoenix, in that group, if they're not up there, then I think they can move some of these younger guys and maybe bring in a veteran. I actually think they should and may still be looking to do something like that right now. If Bradley Beal becomes available, maybe they can put together a pretty good package. And that goes for some other veterans, Ben Simmons, perhaps. So I think they have what it takes to improve the team through trades if their current bunch doesn't work out.
I appreciate that you have come to your senses, Chris, but I'm not in love with the knock on the head that got you there. This idea that the only reason that he should stay is because there's a chance that the Warriors may be able to recapture their championship magic. It is the wackiest idea that I've ever heard that Steph Curry should start ring chasing. He is the anti-LeBron. He's the anti-KD. He's the anti-Harden. He's the anti-Russ. If you look at the list of most beloved players in the league right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the only one that is above him that has actually won a championship. And it's understandable why Giannis might be there. He's the brand new shiny toy and said everything right when it came to how he ended up winning a championship and the anti-super teams stigma and feeling that exists. Steph Curry can't get better, can't do better than what he has with Golden State as far as the golden light that he is perceived in. If he just decides, I'm going to hold the Warriors hostage and I'm going to play wait and see to determine whether I'm going to stay with in the Bay Area or not, that in itself would do damage, because one of the things that Steph Curry has demonstrated above and beyond anything else is that he is above just chasing championships. He well remembers that the Bay Area and the Golden State Warriors stuck by him when he was just a guy with bad ankles, the little guy from a mid-major, Davidson, who came to the Bay Area and was a nice little show, but certainly not a champion. And then they built a team around him, and he got his ankles right. And they found a special way to play that caught everybody by surprise. He can't, if he loses that, he'll never get that again, no matter where he goes. And the Bay Area will never feel about him as they do right now. So the risk is simply not the reward to possibly go someplace else to win another ring. And where is he going to go where he's assured of that? It makes zero sense for him to even entertain the idea of going someplace else.
Yeah, I'm with you, Slick. This is a situation where your heart is where your home is, and his home and his heart is in the Bay Area. You got to respect what he's thinking. He's thinking about the equity. He's owed money, and that old money just got some new money. So he's money right now in the Bay Area sitting still. He's already went to 5 straight finals. How greedy can we be in expectation, and how greedy can he be in projection? Where are you going to go? I mean, you went to 5 straight finals. You already had your dynasty, brother. Like most players try to find one dynasty. You already found it. You're trying to find a second when they're going to pay you to stay still. And like the first dynasty, make it come to you. Make it go through you. So is this smart? Hell yeah, it's smart if you're Steph Curry. I'm going to say it like DJ Quick said it. I'm going to make it quick. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And this makes a lot of sense because he just made a lot of dollars. Staying still, and basically you guys are purchasing, once again, Steph Curry, the brand, staying still. I love how you said it, Slick, the little guard that could, and all of a sudden he was cast away because he just couldn't stay healthy. I remember when Mark Jackson declared him and Klay the best guards that could shoot in NBA history. Prematurely, because we didn't see that in evidence, and he got killed for that. Now what are we saying about that? You got to pay respects to what will help build you. You got to pay respects to what help support you through the low times. And that's what Steph Curry's doing. And they're mutual with that same respect. He got to stay still, man, and make it come to him again.
You guys are cute, all soft and cuddly, all right? This is about winning. All right, you play to win games.
Stop.
And I get it. Steph is only a couple of years removed from a championship or even from playing in the finals. So, yeah, he still got that shine on him. But let time go on. Let 1 year, 2 years, 3 years pass, and Steph's nowhere near the conference finals, let alone the NBA finals. And these super teams that you just ripped, James Harden and Brooklyn and the Lakers, let them start winning championships. And then it'll be like, man, Steph is too good to be playing just to win 45 games, just to win 50 games. So, look, I'm down now with them staying in Golden State. But keep the pressure on, Steph. Look, you only get to be in your prime one time. All right, he should be going for as many championships as he can get. I don't look at it as ring chasing. I don't want him to go somewhere and be a role player, for goodness sake. But I'm just saying he's got to make sure the Warriors can contend, and he should keep that on him. If they don't win a championship, but they're really trying or they're really close, then I can live with that. But don't give me this, just play out your last 5 years of your prime, be one of the best players in the league, and get in the play-in game. Come on, nobody's going to be happy about that. You mentioned Giannis. Why is Giannis so popular right now? Because he won. Nobody'd be praising him for staying in the small market and shunning the super teams had he not won. But he won. He stayed and won.
He stayed and he won. And look, what happened this past season with Steph Curry disproves your theory right now.
Thank you.
Because Steph Curry was on a team that had no chance of winning a championship, and yet he was feted for. He got MVP votes for the fact that he had the kind of year that he had for a team that was that bad. Look, Steph Curry is in this special place where individually what he does is so dramatic and so exciting and captivating that people take it for what it is, and they're not looking at it as where is it taking the Warriors collectively. And by the way, he doesn't have to keep the pressure on because Joe Lacob, the owner, is putting pressure on everybody. He thinks they have a championship team right now. with what they have. So Steph doesn't have to ultimately play that role. And here's the other part, is that Steph is in that special place where you look at, I always wondered this about Michael Jordan. Like, how could he stand to be the owner of the Charlotte Hornets? Because we know how much winning meant to him and how he settled for nothing less than the best. Well, he's moved on. His area of competition is in making money, not winning games. He's trying to move up the scale of owners and where he stands among them. Steph Curry is building an image and a brand, and part of that is loyalty, and part of that is being connected to one team in one city that has made him globally beloved. If he changes that, he not only changes the way he's viewed now, but he changes how he will be viewed in the rearview mirror. And as Michael Jordan has demonstrated, that pure image is worth a lot going forward, even once your career is over. Steph Curry is playing the long game beyond just right now and wearing shoes.
Yeah,
he's playing the long game for the rest of his career.
It's bigger than Nino Brown. It's bigger than Steph Curry. He's talking about image, brand, empire. He helped build that new arena, Chase Center. Now you can't go chase rings if you build a Chase Center. Respect. And how far away are they really? Think about it. This was an undermanned team. Let's look at this team. Steph Curry this year. Clay comes back. Draymond, Wiseman, Wiggins, Poole. You got a little something there. But last year, undermanned, play-in game against the Lakers. Close shot beats you. You're out of that. But you're that close to the same team that was up when healthy against the Phoenix Suns, Western Conference champions. There's a way to play this mentally. They're a tier 2 team in the West right now if all things go well for them. But let's talk about what Slick was talking about. Because I know the athlete mindset should be win in sports, but also win in life. And it's good to see that Steph is still keeping that in his scope in terms of winning in both arenas. But the playing phases are, this is why he checked every box. He's checking every box. The playing phases are, first, make a name for yourself. He's done that. Then make your money. He's done that. And then go get your rings. He's done that. So where should he go? Nowhere. Giannis just proved that. You stay and then you win. He's done it before. You got to do it again. Coming up, Kevin Durant is the leader on Team USA, but is he the best player in the world? You know I'll answer that. That's next on Speak For Yourself. Let's get to the Olympics. Take me to Tokyo. Team USA hit a rough patch against Spain in the quarterfinals until Kevin Durant took over. KD had 13 points in third quarter and finished with 29 to carry his team to the semifinals. After the game, Draymond Green said, quote, he showed us he's already the greatest player in the world, and we needed it. So, Chris, you agree with Draymond? KD is the best player in the world?
No, he's the best scorer. And that's the combination of his size, his shooting ability, and his ball handling skills. But he is not the best player. Look, I think we're in a different time in the NBA where there's not that one definitive player that win or lose, he's the best. Michael Jordan, win or lose, we knew at some point he was the best. LeBron James, same thing. Now it's open. And maybe next year, KD will prove he is the best. Or maybe LeBron, with his older age, might try to take the crown back. But right now, I think you have to give that title to Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I say that because, for these reasons, let's compare him to Kevin Durant. He's a far better defender than KD. It's not just about shooting, all right? He's a far better rebounder than KD. His playmaking skills are pretty much on par with KD. In transition, with the ball in his hands, I actually like him better than KD and drive into the hole with the Euro step to finish. And he scores. The last 4 years, Giannis has actually scored more than Kevin Durant, and he's done it just as efficiently, if not more efficiently. All right, what Giannis doesn't do well, obviously, is shoot. And what I saw from him against the Phoenix Suns in the finals was him refusing, finally, to play to his weaknesses and play into his strengths. If he goes forward and is going to be an interior scorer in the offensively and dominate the interior defensively, not just posting, but cutting, flashing, picking and rolling to the paint where he can finish, then he'll be the best player. And over time, we know he'll add the mid-range jump shot or continue to work on that. But if Giannis plays the way he did in the finals, I mean stylistically and strategically, not just that he has to be that effective, then I think he's the best player in the world because he'll stop exposing his weaknesses and start highlighting and playing to his strengths inside.
Man. I could make this really simple and I could be really difficult with this. But let me just use Giannis's words to start off my argument. When Giannis said himself that Kevin Durant's the best player in the world when he faced him in the series, that same series that we lost to James Harden, one leg, and then we saw Kyrie Irving out, and you still saw him go out there to Game 7, and it was just a big toe away from the best player in the world advancing and not Giannis. So if Giannis already answered this question, I don't know why we're going to even oppose it. But let's give more evidence to the obvious. Kevin Durant came back from a brutal Achilles injury. I've suffered one before. They are all brutal. And came back, gave you 27, 7, and 6. Shot 54 from the field, 45 from 3, 88 from the free throw line after injury. You know what the greatest attribute of Kevin Durant, other than everything he does on the basketball court, including playing defense, but since he's skinny, he doesn't get the credit, but he's nearly 7 feet, so you need to respect that. Ask the Golden State Warriors about Kevin Durant's defense, and you'll start to hear some positives. The best thing about Kevin Durant is that when you put him out around all greats, Olympic teams, when you put him in the Golden State Warriors around other great players like a Steph Curry, he makes the greats look average. His highs are just higher than everyone else's highs. It's just that simple. We saw a guy who averaged 34 points a game this postseason. We haven't seen that since LeBron in his prime, 2008, 2009. I don't know what else to say. You hear player after player say it. Even the player that you want to bring up and say who's the best says, no, Kevin Durant's the best. So I will put my case to rest.
Marcellus, there is something that is just off about you today, and it just continues. And look, I'm not grading Kevin Durant on a curve because he came back from an Achilles injury, unless I'm going to give extra points to Giannis Antetokounmpo for winning a championship despite having hyperextended his knee going into the series and missing 2 games.
Oh, that's the same reason.
And to Chris's point, this comparison about both offensive and defensive and who's the better defensive player, and I've got receipts because I think we in most cases we think about Kevin Durant as being the far better offensive player than Giannis because he shoots better, because he has the more traditional way of scoring. But if you look at the offensive rating versus the defensive rating this season, regular season, you will see that it is comparable at the offensive end. At the defensive end, it's not comparable. And in the playoffs, he actually gets him. Giannis gets KD by just a tick. So they score in different ways. They make their impact offensively in different ways. But in terms of the overall impact, the argument can be made that Giannis is slightly bigger than KD's. And obviously, defensively, he's just a better player. So that's why I have to give it to him. Is KD the world's best scorer? Yes, I'll give that to him. Is he the most anatomically designed person to play basketball? Yes, I would give him that. But I say that you must be off today, Marcel. Earlier, when we were talking about the Lakers, and you used a pronoun that has me completely baffled for Mr. Chip City. Clip City, Chip City. Can I get can we play that back?
What you doing?
What did I hear?
And Dwight Howard sitting there. Boulders, shoulders, and boards. That's all we need. That's all we need.
What?
I said that's all.
What?
Yes.
That was the no Sotros form for Marcellus Wiley,
No Sotros.
the Clippers fan, talking about the Lakers. Wherever you're standing on whatever you're standing today, Brother, I got to tell you, I just don't think it's the same Marcellus.
Oh, man, you caught me slipping. When it came out, I said, oh, don't love L.A. so much that you claim all things L.A. Because, you know, I'm a Dodger fan, Angels fan,
I see what's
Clippers
peeking
fan.
out of your shirt.
But I can't respect you Lakers fans, even though I put up an argument for you. Come back, Acho. I need help. Coming up, is Aaron Rodgers the greatest quarterback to ever do it? I have a lot to say about this. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Y'all got receipts. Aaron Rodgers was named MVP last season, but his head coach, Matt LaFleur, is boosting him up even more. LaFleur said, quote, I mean, the guy is, in my eyes, the greatest to ever do it. I think he's still got a lot left in the tank. Clean up aisle 12. So, Greg, he was your teammate. Is it crazy to say Aaron Rodgers is the greatest to ever do it?
Of course not. Come on, guys. We all know this. It's not just about Super Bowl wins that we all like to immediately go to. It's about how you play the game, the impact you have on the game, the value you have to an organization and the team. And quite frankly, Aaron he fits the bill on all of those. So when you look at Matt LaFleur, he comes to an organization. They struggled the year prior to him getting there. He gets there. This quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, he presents into his lap an NFC championship game. He then in year 2 does the same thing all over again. Let's not forget he's a 3-time MVP. Oh, he was just the MVP of the National Football League this past season. A guy who Bucky Brooks, our friend, just completely wrote off going into the season. And guess what he does? He goes and he proves his value, how great he actually is. He is the elite of the elite. He is the best. Don't put him second to anyone outside of Tom Brady in my book. But for Matt LaFleur, in his eyes, Aaron Rodgers, you can't change his lens. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Know about that, Marcel.
You don't know about that. You done?
So here's the thing. One thing we said, hey, he's the most talented. He's one of the best in the league. He might be a great quarterback. But the greatest to ever do it, that means he's an all-timer. We haven't seen anybody surpass what he has put on the field. I just can't go with that. When I think about Aaron Rodgers, I think about a guy who is going to go down as one of the best to play it, but he hasn't been able to get his team over the hump. One Super Bowl win. And in fact, I think if we go back just this January, he has the ball. They have an opportunity to seal their fate to go to the Super Bowl. And my man, Aaron Rodgers, can't find a way to get him in. And so until he's able to have one of those moments, I can't call him the greatest. Not at all.
Not at all. I'm going to keep this real simple. I need to see that full screen once again because is it crazy? Yeah, it is actually crazy because these guys are here, and this is an incomplete list because Peyton Manning need to be up here as well. But Brady, Elway, Montana beating them in all the statistical categories. Yards per game doesn't count, empty calories. Here's the one that adds it all up. Passer rating, 83.7. Aaron Rodgers? So I had to do some quick analysis. Who was between 83.7 in terms of better than that and worse than that? You know what the players that came up that was just slightly better than 83.7? His name is Nick Mullins. His quarterback rating is 84. You know who was right under 83.7? His name was Cam Newton. And last time I checked, people were destroying him in terms of how he performed. You trying to tell me that in championship games, when it matters most, when it's time to get over the hump, Aaron Rodgers turns into Nick Mullins or Cam Newton last year? That ain't going to get it done. Not the greatest to ever do it. Won't work. Coming up, the Steelers and Cowboys are in bounce-back mode this season. I'll tell you which team will get it done. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Nick,
give him another championship game opportunity.
The Steelers and Cowboys will get the season started in the Hall of Fame game Thursday on Fox. Where's my jacket? Pittsburgh was 12-4 last season, but they lost to the Browns in the first round. The Cowboys finished 6-10 and missed the playoffs for the second straight year. So, Bucky, more confident in the Steelers or Cowboys bouncing back this season?
Oh, this is easy because when you judge teams, you always judge them on the quarterback. And right now, Dak Prescott is a far superior quarterback than Ben Roethlisberger. So I'm going with the Cowboys. My confidence is all in the Cowboys. We have talked about Dak Prescott and what Dak Prescott has brought to the table.
Yeah.
Last year, he was on an incredible pace. He was going to tear up and rewrite the record books as an individual passer in a season. But the confidence stems from the fact that he's going to be an even better player coming off the injury.
Yeah.
When I go up to Oxnard and watch them practice, I see what they're doing to their offense, still utilizing some of the movement. I'm looking at C.D. Lamb looking like a young emerging beast. And you have Amari Cooper coming back. You have Michael Gallup on the outside. But really, Ezekiel Elliott. And so if that offense gets them going and they play downhill and they put up the 30 spot that they've been putting on people with Dak Prescott, absolutely, the Dallas Cowboys are going back. And also, they play in a very weak division where Dak is head and shoulders above everybody else.
I like your destination. I like where you arrived. I don't like how you got there.
What are you talking about?
Just start off with the path of least resistance. Like, playing it, start there. You talking about the quarterback, the better quarterback I have the confidence in. And that doesn't work in all matchups because if you look at the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, who's the better quarterback? Well, the other one's greater. The other one won. So here it is. It's an easier path. It's the Cowboys because they're in the worst division. Then, after you get past the path of least resistance, you start to look at their talent levels. And you start to see that it is a disparity in terms of what their talent is and what they need to do in translating that same talent. So I respect the Cowboys finally closing that gap. We believe in ourselves. We can achieve there, but now let's finally make that a reality. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think right now in that division, they can play well and still find themselves in third place. I mean, you think about Baltimore is still there. Baltimore is ready. Cleveland's coming. And then you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's been the old guard with an old quarterback who's now got a new body, who's finally committed at 36. Like, it's too much. So I'm looking at the Cowboys that's just been chomping at the bit. Last year started slow, injury to Dak Prescott. A lot for them to go out there and do and close the gap. So it should be the Cowboys. Anything else? No?
No.
Coming up, Bucky looks sharp. Coming up, it's the GOAT's birthday today. Not mine. Tom Brady. And he's turning 44. So what gifts should we get him? That's the question. Next on Speak for Yourself. That's all the same dude, too. You're fat for a minute there. I saw that. Thursday on Fox, the NFL is back. Catch Big Ben and the Steelers as they battle Zeke and the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. All the action is on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Tom Brady is 44 years old today. He's already won 7 Super Bowls. It's called the GOAT, so it got us thinking about what to get the man who appears to already have everything. So, Bucky, what birthday gift would you give the GOAT for turning 44?
I don't know, man, because I feel like I've hated on Tom Brady so much.
So
I don't know what else I can,
better be a big gift.
give him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into my grandma's medicine cabinet, and I'm going to pull out some Geritol because I think Tom Brady's going to play until he's 50 years old. He may win 2 or 3 more Super Bowls. So I'm just going to ask Grandma, I'm going to say, Grandma, can I borrow your Geritol pills, and maybe we're going to send these to TB12 and see if he can add them to the mix of his vitamin offerings, because I just don't understand how a guy his age continue to play and play at that level.
Alex Guerrero going to slap your hand so you show up with some Geritol. He's like, we got this already. Look at him. He's still out there balling. Oh, man, there's nothing worse than being the guy in the room that everyone comes up to and say, we didn't know what to get you because you have everything. You be like, I ain't got it all. So you need to think, act like you love me. So I do love you, Tom Brady. I don't hate on you like Bucky does. So therefore, I'm going to give you the best gift in the world going right now. An Amazon gift card. That's right. Can't go wrong with a damn Amazon gift card. Don't be mad at the dollar amount because I ain't got it like that. But I will give you a gift card so you can do all the dirty work. You can make yourself happy. It can be something small, be something big. Get some Geritol. I don't know what the hell Bucky wants. But the point is nothing worse than being that guy that everyone's looking at like, what do you get him?
Yeah, I don't.
Bucky, you got anything else to say?
No, I don't have anything else to say, Tom.
Okay, we're going to get off this show right now. Bucky, when's your birthday? Let me get to this.
January 22nd. I'm an Aquarius.
Now, I ain't asked you that. I ain't trying to date you. How old you going to be?
Oh, I'll be 51.
Damn, Bucky. So you got that Geritol. You talking about your grandma. Your ass is the one with the Geritol. Your may come back tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know what he on either. That's it for us.